family. Thank you for tuning in. Today we are going over the fundamentals of finance. So everything the school system did not teach you, the things that you should know, the very, very basics, so that you can get off to a great start. It does not matter if you got started late, but as always, what you do to determine your end. So today we are going over how to properly budget, the importance of your credit score. We're discussing when and how to obtain a loan. And also, we're going to be discussing homeownership and entrepreneurship and how they all tie in together to create a really balanced personal finance profile. All right, so I too had a long introduction, so we're going to jump right in. So, first, we're talking about easy ways to maintain a budget. First things first, you need to understand, recognize, make peace with the fact that you need one. You absolutely need one. And the way that you do it, the way that it will make sense for you, is to set goals, okay? Set goals that make sense for you, what you want to do, where you want to go, who you want to be. Make sure that your goals are in line with the person that you see yourself becoming, right? It's in line with your dreams, with your goals, so that you are emotionally connected to it, right? You're not just emotionally connected when your account is in the red. You're just not emotionally connected when you're making decisions about what you can or can't have, but that you're connected to the future you and what you're really looking to do. So whether that is home ownership, whether that is planning for children, whether that is college, whatever your big goal is, even if you just say, I want to be 100% out of debt, whatever your goal is, get connected to it and connect that to the budget. Know where you are. That's the entire reason that you are creating a budget to begin with, so that you will know exactly where you are financially. And I will tell you, when I myself started to create a budget years and years ago, I realized, oh my God, I am not where I need to be. I'm not where I want to be. And I need to create some kind of method in which I can make more money so that I can cover my expenses, because I was certainly robbing Peter to pay Paul and living beyond my means, even though I had the minimum. And so that is the situation that I know so many of us are in. And so that is the reason why I'm here, so that you can see the evolution of what it looks like to really commit and be consistent to our goals. Now, the next thing you want to do is to create a routine, right? So understand that this has to become a habit, and it isn't something that you want to shy away from, right? Because we already have so many responsibilities in our life. We already have so many things that we need to do, have to do, want to do. And so just implement this as a part of your life, and I will share with you the way that I do it. And so the way that I do it, and I keep it really simple, is just by doing it once per month. And I usually do it about on the 25th, 26th of the month, and that is in preparation for the next month. And so that is a way for me to, first of all, look at all of the expenses, charges, etc., how I was living my life, if I was doing right or I was living wrong. And then also to prepare for the next month in advance. So it's not already the day, or it's beyond, a couple days beyond, but it gives me an opportunity to set goals. And some of the goals that I set for myself are, okay, can I budget in paying more on my credit cards this month? Can I budget in saving more toward my real estate endeavors? You know, what really can I do? How can I adjust my income or my resources so that I can really propel myself into the next phase of my life, right? And so I have made it super, super simple for you. And I have created the Budget Like a Boss kit, all right? And so if you use the coupon YouTube, you can get our Budget Like a Boss kit absolutely free. And so there is no excuse for you to not get it, for you to not implement it and apply it to your life. So literally all you have to do is try. That's all you have to do is try. So I hope you did not think that this video would not include credit. Credit is so fundamental. It is a fundamental pillar of building wealth, okay? It is one of the wealth building foundations. And so I love to talk about credit repair because it absolutely transformed my life. It transformed my entire life for the better. And once I really understood, and so I'll tell you a little bit of my story, right? So in 2016, I had a car accident. I ended up losing my job just due to transportation. At the same time, I was in college, so my roommate moved out on me without notice. So I was left with all of these bills. I had no choice but to use my credit cards to try to stay afloat. And so everything ended up going into total ruin. I lost everything. I moved back home with my grandparents, and I didn't know what to do. I was asking everyone, help me, give me answers. And I realized that nobody really had the answers. Everybody tried their best to tell me the right things to do, but it wasn't until I really got into this industry and I really learned and I really figured it out. And I said, oh, this is what it is, that I figured it out. And that is not the way that it should be. Our school systems do us an injustice when they don't teach us anything about credit. And then in a couple months after we graduate, we're signing away our lives to these student loans. Now, I am not against going to school. Would never be against furthering your education, but we have to understand credit, okay? And so I'm gonna give you a really quick rundown about what credit is, some of the very foundational things that you need to understand. First, you need to understand that no credit equals bad credit, okay? And so all of the myths that you have heard about not applying for credit cards or completely, because I too was told that, or avoiding your credit score or a cosign. These are things that you should avoid at all costs. So credit is broken down into 5 different categories, okay? The first one is payment history. This is the ratio of on-time payments to late payments, but it does also include any derogatory accounts. So any charge-offs, collections, repossessions, anything, all of that falls into this category. It is 35%. That is significant. That is 192.5 points. So the second one is credit utilization. So how much of your available credit are you using? It is 30% of your total score, right? And so if your score starts at 300, and the highest it can go is 850, you have control over 550 points. And they're broken down into these categories. So 30% of that 550 points is 165 points. So I teach the point conversions because you need to see how it converts from the financial industry over to the average consumer. And so we see the points, but they see the percentages, right? And so if you don't have even one credit card, you are missing out on 165 points. If your cards are maxed out, you're missing out on 165 points. So the third one is credit length. So lenders want to see that you have an extended history of credit, of using credit. And so it's kind of like car insurance. If you're new on the road, of course, you're less experienced. You're going to make more mistakes than someone who has experience. And lenders know that. They know if you're experienced with credit. They know if you have an average of 10 years that you're going to make less mistakes and you're going to be a better consumer for them to lend to. All right, so the last two are credit mix and hard inquiries. Lenders want to see you have 3 types of accounts. So they want to see you have revolving accounts, which are credit cards and store cards. They want to see you have installment accounts, which are student loans, auto loans, personal loans, and then they want to see you have a mortgage because it's typically going to be the highest loan that you as a consumer have achieved. And so they want to see, are you able to make those payments despite any fluctuations in the economy, despite a COVID, despite a pandemic, despite any kind of natural disaster or, whatever else is going on in the world, recession, depression, are you able to make those payments? And then lastly, those hard inquiries. They want to know who, when, and why were you applying for credit. And so they use this to determine their risk because what will happen is that if a consumer loses their job or something isn't going great financially, they may apply for multiple lines of credit and then use that to kind of stay afloat, to kind of ride the wave until it's over, until they find another job or whatever. Or if they just don't have great spending habits and they live beyond their means, or they're using credit cards to supplement their income. And so those are the keys to your credit profile. All right. And so I have many master classes that I teach in my free private Facebook group. Okay. It's called Ready, Start, Grow. We're going to put the link in the description for you so you can easily access it. But we're always teaching, because what I realize is that many people are not irresponsible. They're not bad people. They just really don't know. Just like myself, I didn't know. I did not know. So I am going to leave you with a couple things that will build and boost your credit profile. So you want to have at least 3 credit cards. Doesn't mean you have to run out and get at least 3 today, but work your way up to a minimum of 3. Have at least 2 installment loans. And installment loans that I can really recommend, I used it myself, is Self-Lender. It was awesome, right? And so Self-Lender allows you to not only obtain a secured card, you can also have an installment loan, and then you can also report your rent. So it really is a wonderful tool, wonderful company to use. And we also have a link that we're going to leave for you in the description where you can get started. Now, the next thing, become an authorized user if possible. If you have someone in your life that you know, that you like, that you can trust, that is able to pay their bills on time and keep a low balance, ask them if they are willing to add your name to one of their credit cards. That is going to help you tremendously, okay? Experian Boost is also another great tool that you can use, okay? And so all you have to do is connect a checking account of yours, the one where you pay all of your bills, right? And Experian is going to instantly boost your score by looking for accounts that you are already paying on. So your cell phone bill, your utility bill, Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, and it is going to report all of that previous payment history so that you now have more positive lines of credit reporting. I will tell you this, the best way to have excellent credit is to avoid being negligent, right? And so we can't help it if we get sick and we lose our jobs, or life. We know life happens, but do your very best to avoid being negligent. And what I will say is having a budget helps you to prepare for emergencies. So when those things do happen, because life will happen, that you are prepared. And so make sure that you always pay your bills on time. Always. And I will always say, prioritize the accounts that are reporting on your credit report. Your light bill will give you an extension. Your utility company, your water company, they will give you an extension. But your credit cards, instantly there is a late fee applied. And so try to avoid being late, okay? So don't close old accounts. Do not close any old accounts, okay? That is helping you build credit history. That is one of the reasons for obtaining an authorized user. And then lastly, you want to avoid collections. So if you know you went to the hospital, if you know you have a balance on a light bill, a phone bill, whatever, make sure that you pay that bill so that it does not go into a collection status. There's no need for that, okay? We're talking about when and how to apply for a loan. So at some point, the average person needs a loan, and that is why we have credit, right? So one of the things that you want to do when you are obtaining credit is to already have an established relationship with some financial institution. I personally recommend credit unions because they're going to give you the best rate. And often once you begin to use their products, so you have a credit card and then you have an auto loan, and they'll be more willing to give you a personal loan because they know you have a great record, right? Versus some of the maybe larger banks that may not be as willing because they don't know you as well. Especially local credit unions, those are chef's kiss. I am never going to encourage you to get into debt, to apply for loans that you don't need. And oftentimes we think we need loans when we don't need loans. We just need a little bit more patience. Maybe we need to save. Maybe we really need to prioritize what's going to be of greater importance. Because oftentimes what I realize is that we will give up what we want for what we want right now, what we really want for what we want right now. And in the now instead of learning delayed gratification and learning how to properly strategize. So a few examples of when it may be a good time to obtain a loan is to improve your credit score. You need it to build history, consolidate credit card debt, to lower your credit utilization and make stable, steady payments. You may need to pay a collection or pay an account before it becomes a collection. Or you may be interested in investing in a small business opportunity. So I'm going to tell you the truth. You are never going to have your share of the American pie until you invest in real estate, homeownership. We are a capitalist economy, okay? That means it is all about the money. So I see a lot of people, unfortunately, become house poor. And that means instead of paying rent, now you pay the bank, but you still don't technically own anything. There's absolutely nothing wrong with home ownership, and I absolutely encourage it, but go into it with a plan. That is why in our program, in our specialized credit repair program, we help our clients to do two things, right? To create some additional stream of income and then to also become a homeowner. We teach our clients how to strategize their investment. This is one of the largest loans that you will ever achieve in your entire life. So you want to make sure that it's right. That does not mean that you get analysis paralysis where you try to know every single thing and you end up not doing anything. This is where you learn, you implement, okay? The most successful people in the world learn fast and implement even faster. For example, my couples who come into the program, I recommend that if their income will fit the scenario, that one person buys one house and then the other person buys another house. And they live in one and rent out the other one. And the other one will cover the mortgage for both of the homes, okay? If you are single, if you don't have any children, or maybe you just have one child and you can live in a multi-unit property, I highly encourage you to do that. So instead of buying a $300,000 home, that you purchase a $300,000 multi-unit property and you can live in one and rent out the others, and you can save and you can build until you're in a place where you can invest in other things that will create a life that is completely sustainable without outside income, okay? That is how you get out of the rat race, when your passive income exceeds your expensive. That means I do not have to work for every single dollar that I bring into my household, okay? There are so many resources for purchasing a home. And what I would say, one of the best ones is to attend a home buyer's seminar. I have taught at so many myself, and we are partnered with so many really awesome real estate agents and mortgage loan officers that really provide the education that you need to make really prosperous decisions, make really good decisions that are going to lead to sustainable wealth in the long term. When it comes to real estate, don't think small. Plan for really, really great investments, okay? Plan big. Plan to have multiple properties. A lot of people really just purchase one home, or they will sell that home and purchase another one home. But think about, how can I really create a life that is sustainable for myself, for my children, for my children's children? Think long term and plan very big, because we really all have the tools, the resources, the capability and ability to get it done, okay? Anything that you can conceive in your mind is really possible, or else you would not have been able to think that thought. It's possible. And with that being said, I know so many clients who come into the program and they don't think that home ownership is for them. And by the time we get off of the phone, they know that home ownership is for them. Home ownership is like your birthright. It is your right to own a piece of land, right? And don't think that just because no one else in your family owns a home, or just a couple people, or maybe not your immediate family, it is for you. It is for them as well. And it's never too late. Even if you are 60 years old, your home can still build equity in which you can pull out and leave to your family, or you can leave that house to your family. There's so many things that you can do as it pertains to real estate. And so that is why home ownership in general, is one of the foundations of wealth. All right, y'all, I have saved the best for last. All right, the very last thing we're talking about today is entrepreneurship. I love this subject. I can't talk about it enough. Truly changed my life. Truly changed my life. My last job that I worked, which was more than a year ago, they would not even pay me $35,000 a month, but they wanted the best hours of my day. They wanted me to come in 8 to 5 every single day, to take 30-minute lunches, to live just completely around their schedule, their needs, what they needed as a company. And so many of us get caught in this trap. And I'm not saying working a job, there's anything wrong with working a job, because there's not. If you love your job, go for it. But I knew for me, myself personally, I don't want to work for anybody else. And I knew this for many years, right? But I did not understand, how do I get out of this, okay? So our society, our economy, it's made up of consumers and producers. And you have to decide, which one are you going to be? So of course, naturally, we're all consumers. We consume food, we consume products, devices, services, softwares. We consume all of these things, but are we producing any of them? Most of the jobs that are created by small businesses, and that is why the government puts so much funding and programs in place to support small businesses, so that small businesses may grow and create more jobs. This is not a rant for you to quit your job, right? This is a rant for you to create some additional stream of income. This is a rant, a plea, whatever you want to call it, for you to identify your natural born gifts and talents and decide, how can I monetize this so that I can create a life of ease for myself, so that my life gets better, so that I can create more income, so that I can do more of the things that I want, that I love, even that I need. There are so many of us who aren't even able to provide some of the very minimal needs that we have. The entire world is set up to support entrepreneurs. And even though you may not have to be a full-time entrepreneur, at some level you should participate. For an example, I spent 4 years being a tax professional. And so what I did is I used tax law to strategize ways that my clients could reduce their tax liability, so that they would pay less taxes to the government. But the government helps to do that for business owners. And so there are, I want to say, 500 plus tax deductions for business owners. There are so many types of businesses that you could partake, that you could embark on. So whether you sell for Amazon, whether you own a patient transportation company, whether you do photography or credit repair, there are so many ways that you can create a life for yourself that is absolutely wonderful and on your own term. I know I'm gonna get this question, so I'm gonna get it out of the way. We are having a credit repair course at the end of the year, okay? So at the end of the year, I'm gonna show you how I made over six figures in the credit repair industry. I'm going to show you step by step of how to start, own, and operate a very successful company. If you are interested in that, make sure that you go and subscribe to our email list so that you are getting the notifications so that you can know first. All right, family, so I hope this has been very informative, that you have enjoyed talking to me today. I want you to certainly leave your comments in the comment section below. I want you to also hit that subscribe, hit the like, and the notification bell so that you know every time that we post videos, and you can get all this juicy information about finance. So again, my name is Janisha, and like and follow on all platforms.